Welcome to a special episode of Card Authority. Obviously, the really exciting news that Brilliance has just dropped the 2020 brand new Select release. We'll just make sure everything's live here while we're obviously doing this a little bit on the fly today. Jenks, how are you today, mate?
I'm good, buddy. I'm good. I'm excited that something has come out that's at least engaging for some conversation now, and we can have a bit of a chat with everyone. We're getting lots of feedback all over socials at the moment, so it's a good opportunity for us to be able to digress a bit and also be able to see how everyone's feeling about the release. So yeah, very exciting.
Absolutely. So look, obviously we're going to go through the details very in a second, and see, talk about what we think about it. Make sure this is all working. One sec.
Yeah, we're just looking here. Yeah.
All right. Beautiful, we're live. So actually I closed my screen. So it's basically 42 cards. So there's 36 cards, 2 players per team, and then 6 redemption double signature cards at a price point of $150 per box, 2,100 boxes, and they're going to do a release of 3 lots of 700, they say. That's if everything gets released, but, let's take it on their word that it is going to be at the moment. So I think 2 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 9 o'clock, I believe. I'm just pulling up the information now. First of all, let's talk about the price point, because obviously that seems to be I guess the thing that people have mentioned. Where do you think $150 a box sits at the moment?
Well, obviously, no one had any idea this was coming, let alone us. We had been speculating about a few different things, and fortunately, obviously, we seemed to speculate to each other when we talked about it late last night as well, that we thought there was some sort of release coming, and if it was either going to be Supremacy, but if not Supremacy, it would be some other very premium release under a different name, which would be there to sort of fill that void. Price point, like specific to the question about the price point, I think it's probably about right. I said, just before when the live video first started up, and you and I were chatting, and I mentioned I thought it would probably be around $150 mark, and it actually obviously landed at $150. I think it's about right. Cards numbered to 50, 180 point stock, super limited release, super premium product. When you stack it up against cards of similar numbering and rarity, then it answers its question. I wouldn't want to be you having to go after the Dustin Martins here, because you're looking at big numbers here on the Dusty, big numbers.
Yeah, well, and that's sort of my gut feeling. I look at probably, and we'll talk about the cross of or the selection of players shortly, but whether it's the Dusty or the Pendles or the Cripps or the Bonampelli or any of those probably key players, if you happen to land one of those for $150, well, I think you've got an absolute bargain. But I guess I'll put it to you. Are you going to be satisfied if you get a Seb Ross?
No.
You know what I mean?
No. I'll be honest. I'm not overly satisfied that Seb Ross is the player that's been picked in the series. I'm just. You know what? I was about to say, like, I'm not criticising Select, but it is actually somewhat of a criticism that I don't know how they keep getting this wrong with Seb Ross as the player they keep selecting for the high-end cards. If you were to look at the sentiment at the footy club, he would not be in the top 5 players in terms of supporter base. And as a result of that, that translates through to the collector base as well. This is a perfect opportunity, again, for them to pick one of these absolute gun players that's in the squad that's been performing. And I'm sure that there's other teams and collectors and supporters of other teams would feel the same way potentially about the player selection that they have. I can only speak on the St Kilda side. To me, it's disappointing that it's Seb Ross. Nonetheless, I still obviously need the cards for my master set, and I need low set cards, all that sort of stuff as well. So I'll still have to collect this just like any other release. But I think that's a missed mark for them. If that card was like a Jack Steele or even like a Rowan Marshall or really like a number of other players, it could be worth 2 or 3 times what it will be worth, in my opinion.
Yeah, so having a look at this, and I guess, probably to touch on that, clearly from what we're hearing, this set was put in place probably 6 or 9 months ago. There was some talks that it perhaps was being produced a little bit quicker, but from the information we've kind of heard today, it was probably organised 6 months ago. I guess if you go through the list, let's talk about the current day players at the moment. Rory Sloane will be collectible. Zorko, Patrick Cripps will be, Pendlebury will, Dylan Shield will be, Fife will be, Dangerfield, Taranto, but no real collector base. Lacocious is an interesting one, and Harbrow for Gold Coast. Tom Mitchell, obviously collectible. Max Gawn. I've already had a couple of Melbourne supporters tell me that they can't believe it's Max Gawn again. Jack Zeeble is obviously okay. Boak's okay for Port supporters. Dusty is going to be a nightmare. Seb Ross we've talked about. Isaac Heaney for Sydney. Okay. And Luke Shuey for West Coast and Bontempelli. So I kind of feel like the majority of those are always going to land. Yeah, they're going to land over $150.
Yeah.
But I mean, some of these legends, it kind of feels a little bit high flyers all over again, where some of these cards I think you're going to be able to pick up for a steal. You know what I mean? Unless you're obviously Lee Matthews is a great card. Lou Richards is a great card. John Coleman's a good card. Excuse me if I forget any of these. Obviously, we're doing this on the fly. Robbie Flower's a good card. Wanganine's a good card. Jack Dyer is a good card. Baldock for St Kilda is a good card. Bob Skilton's a good card. Actually, maybe there is a little bit more there. Chris Mainwaring, we'll have to see what West Coast supporters say. And Ted Whitten, obviously, is going to be very collectible. Obviously, guys, look, you're firing heaps of questions through. We'll try to get through as much of the content we can quickly. I guess for me, the gold frame cards really look interesting. The signatures for me are a little bit underwhelming. I feel like that some of the team selections and the signatures, and it's probably a little bit to do with logistics, seem a little bit underwhelming. What's your read on those?
So am I right that each of the 6 signatures and each one represents 2 teams, or are any of them single team?
Yeah, so there's a Collingwood one with both the Rocker brothers. There's an Adelaide one with Darren and Andrew Jarman. Geelong, you've got Stuart Lord and Alistair Lord. To be honest, I don't really know much about them. Then you've got the Burgoynes, Peter and Sean, which is Port and Hawthorn. Then you've got Justin and Simon Madden, which is Carlton and Essendon. And then you've got the Jakovich brothers, Glenn and Allen for West Coast and Melbourne. So, notably, there's no St Kilda there. There's no Richmond there. Essendon and Collingwood are covered. Hawthorn's covered. There's no Sydney. There's no, obviously, none of the new teams like GWS, Gold Coast, any of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I just feel they're a little bit underwhelming.
In terms of the signature cards, look, I love the idea of dual signature. I'm a massive fan of these multi-signatures, and also I've come to appreciate the AFL signature product a lot more now because of how much on the international releases that it's all off-card sticker autos. So on that basis, from a general perspective, I really love the idea of the dual autos. I think they'll have significant value. What's their number? Are they to 50 as well?
To 50 as well, yeah.
Yeah, they're going to be worth serious money. Yeah. Especially like that Collingwood one's going to be worth serious coin.
Oh, absolutely. And
I'd almost say like you'd be battling between the Dusty base, the Pendles base, and the dual sig for card of the series there, yeah?
Yeah, look, I think the Dusty, as with all Dusty stuff, and obviously I know that intimately, is going to be horrendously expensive. And look, obviously Lynn, who did the live show, was talking about the weight in the cards with these metal frames and borders. I imagine it being that they're 180 point, they're going to be pretty serious cards.
You know what? Here's the thing. We're actually reflecting on it right now, and obviously this is all brand new, and I'm still trying to digest the information myself. That's obviously just come out. I hadn't even factored in that it's not just 180 point stock, but there's actually metallic border and everything on these things. So we're talking about, in terms of a physical sense, a level up again on supremacy in terms of the physicality of the product, and that has to add value to it as well. You know what? Like, you start to look at all these different aspects, the low numbering to 50, the physical aspect of the card, and then some of the players, these things are actually going to be of serious money on the secondary market, I think.
And Connor, the lovely lady that was doing the preview, her name is Lynn Gilmartin. She's actually the WPT World Poker Tour anchor. She's a Melbourne girl and someone who I know pretty well, actually, through my poker days. So make sure you guys speak nicely about her because she's an absolute ripper. She's an awesome girl. And she did a fantastic job today.
I thought that was so good today. That was we said as soon as we turned it on and even the music came on with the skin screen and everything, like what everyone's looking at right now for Card Authority. You and I both commented to each other immediately. Wow, this is already a step above in terms of professionalism and quality that Select has done anything before. And look, notwithstanding the fact that she obviously had notes and there was a lot of scripting and stuff, it was fantastic. Like that it was just clean. That was a clean promotion reveal. I thought it was really well done. Credit to Select and good on Lynn as well. I thought that was really, really well done.
Absolutely.
Here's the thing. As I said, like my only criticism at this point is, as a St Kilda collector, is that I'm not a big fan of Seb Ross on a personal level. I wish it was another card. There's obviously no signature for St Kilda. It's going to be a cheap collection for Saints collectors, which is fantastic for us. But all in all, it looks like it's quite a very, very high quality product. They're going down the path of what's being done on an international level, which is do not dilute the market with a huge volume of product and a huge volume in terms of the numbers of each individual product. It's release a variety of different levels of product and stagger those releases out so you don't dilute and oversupply the market. So I like it. I like it. My first impressions are very, very positive at this stage.
All right, so let's obviously we've got heaps of questions coming through, and we will try to answer them if you guys do shoot through specific ones. But certainly, everyone chuck in your comments what you're thinking about it. Let's answer a couple of questions which we know are going to come out of this. Is it a product that is going to be suitable for breaking?
Yeah, are you asking me?
Yeah,
I think so.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. Here's the thing, like people in AFL are not necessarily used to a single card super premium product. However, anyone who collects other NBA, NFL, MLB, or any of those other big US products and goes in breaks would know that there is products like this, and or people who do hit parade or memorabilia breaks and things like that as well. Yes, there is the ability to break it. It does appeal to a different sort of mindset. My expectation would be is that it can't just be broken as a single product. You can't just do a break of one of these boxes with one card in it. It's something that would need to have multiples incorporated into a broader break. So maybe you could have some dominance and something else and one or more of these in there. It adds massive hit value and massive chase value. So, The question is going to be is can people get stock, really?
That was going to be our next question. Do you think that the way that it's structured, so as we said at the top of the show, it's going to be limited to 2 boxes per address. So if anyone's sitting there thinking that they're going to get their wife or their girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever to go and order for them as well, that will not work. They will cancel the orders. Do you think that breakers are going to be able to actually get their hands on a large enough quantity of these to be able to break them?
Hard to say. Look, the breakers seem to still have stock from dominance, which should have essentially run out 2 months, 6 weeks ago. So I don't know. I don't know where everyone seems to be getting their stock, but it seems like if people are determined to do it, they'll find a way to find it. That's that. And even if that's a situation of every man and their dog goes out and manages to get their 2 boxes, and then just like what Cherry did with their bounty, it's changed the game, it's changed the industry, it's changed the hobby in a different way, and the breakers will acquire product from the secondary market. So I wouldn't expect that you would ever see this product breaking at $150, let alone $200 a unit. This is probably not even going to happen.
Well, that was going to be my next question. So the first people that get these, if they do choose to move them on, what do you think these are going to be sold for on eBay straight out of the gate?
I think just because of the demand at a break level for people to attempt to hit them, and also probably at a raffle or res level, random level, I would think probably $250 straight off the bat.
Yeah, I would have thought 300. I think they're going to pretty much be double straight off the bat. Do you think due to the price point, and I guess you mentioned about dominance, that obviously a lot of people that bought dominance suddenly were able to flip it for a large amount of money, and it was a big amount of money. It was $2,800. They could get 4,000 instantly. The fact that these are $150 each, do you think more people are going to choose just to take the chance and open it themselves? It feels like it's a more breakable product yourself rather than a resale.
It all depends what people can actually get, because it's also going to be like, imagine it's an entire box with one packet, and the packet only has one card in it, so that you only get one. There's one thing to open, so it's going to be a huge build up to one little microsecond of time, and unless you hit your PC or some other monster, you're going to be left sitting there going, well, what now? Like, I'm used to opening packets and packets. When I did Supremacy, that was different because it was a box, but at least there was the excitement that there was 10 cards to go through. There's one card here, and that's it costs as much as a box. So it could. It's interesting. It's going to be. It's that high. It's going to be a lot of people let down, but like in sense of opening it. And then a lot of people just like, wow, this is huge, euphoric. So
yeah, what I actually, again, this information is an hour old, but I feel like this is an amazing product for the secondary market, because realistically, if you go and buy one box and open it, you've got a 1 in 17 chance or 1 in 18 chance of getting the team that you actually want. I feel like there's going to be a huge amount of these cards that are going to trade hands.
Yeah. Yeah, it's unprecedented. This is new for AFL. Supremacy was new. Even Prestige was unprecedented, an in-between series parallel set. This is unprecedented, but we're ready for it. The market is ready. The hobby is ready. And as much as there's some people and whatever, there's no right or wrong. It's sentiment. Some people will be negative that cash grab, new release, whatever. No doubt. No doubt. It's an opportunity for a manufacturer to release a product because there's a really hot market at the moment. But at the end of the day, we, the people, are fueling that market. If we don't want it, they don't make it. So clearly, we all speak with our wallets because we bought up everything else that came out in 2020. So we want it. So Absolutely. Bring it. Let's do it.
Yeah. And look, Lindsay just made a point. He thinks it's going to be a set for traders. Well, I think that's right for a certain extent if you've got the higher end stuff. But I know me personally, like, what the hell am I going to trade for a Dusty? You know what I mean? I'm going to have to, get lucky or buy it is pretty much my guess. We might.
Sorry, go.
Well, I was going to say this could be, a huge unicorn hunting segment. Like, I feel like there's going to be tons of people trying to hunt down these cards for their collections.
Yeah, absolutely. Here's the thing. Like, I'm a big trade bait person.
Don't agree with you there, Peter. But I don't know if breakers are going to be able to get as much as you think they probably will.
Yeah, and look, as we've discussed before, that everyone has a part in the hobby and in the industry. So whether they're breakers, collectors, speculators, investors, whatever it is, it's all part of the ecology that is trading cards. And people can look at everything with a negative skew, half full, half empty approach, whatever it is they want to do. But the reality is the hobby, the collectors market, the card trading industry at a global level, at a domestic level, has changed hugely this year. And people can either embrace it or not want to participate in it. That's totally up to them. But continuing to be salty about it probably doesn't help your own situation. People need to accept that breaks are something that's there now. Raffles are something that's there now. Sales through eBay are there. Sales through Facebook are there. Different platforms exist. All these things are part of it, and it's what's creating more interest in the hobby and more people coming in. Again, it comes down to that situation of people don't like the idea that it costs more to attain cards now, but they often don't reflect on the fact of everything that they got prior to that date is worth a lot more than what they got it for in the first place as well. So it's all relative. It's got that equal balance. Now, with what you were saying about the trading situation, I'm a huge believer in trade bait. Most people that I engage with in cards know that I often try and buy the right cards for the right prices that are not from my team in order to hold them for a future trade opportunity. And in 2020, it has been so important for me in terms of having that trade inventory, because there's so many cards now that have skyrocketed in value straight off the mark, that I have needed the trade inventory and the cards to be able to use to attain those. So I absolutely agree with what a few people have said in the comments here about this is a real trader's set here, because card value is going to be really high on this. This is the type of stuff that might be able to draw out those unicorn captain signatures and those cards that people are really looking for, because if you don't hit one and you don't want to pay big dollars for something, the only opportunity to get one of these really nice cards from this series will be to trade something else that's desirable for it.
Absolutely. And look, Ricky's question got cut off here. What's a base going to be worth, knowing that only 50 cards are made unless it's highly big players? I cannot see them selling more than 150. I kind of disagree with that, Ricky. I think that the majority of the current day players will all get over 150. Our quick scan of all the base cards, I don't think there's going to be many, except, the Seb Ross kind of situation. Connor, $400 for Dusty. Well, I'll buy 50 of them at that price. I'm pretty sure it's going to be $1,000 to a $1,500 card, is my guess. Okay, well, look, we won't tie everyone up too long. I guess we're going to obviously talk about this more in our normal show, which we will do, no doubt, probably over the weekend. We'll let everyone sort of digest and think about this. There is going to be, obviously, we'll post all the details on Card Authority. So just so everybody knows, the release is next Tuesday. There's going to be 3 different release times: 2 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 9 o'clock Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time. A limit of 2 boxes per household. So please make sure you guys are aware of that. Orders will get cancelled. There's only 2,100 boxes. So I'm guessing these things are going to sell out super quick, like in under a minute would be my guess. I don't know. What do you think, James?
Sure. I'm just looking at the comments here for a second. We are getting a lot of comments obviously coming through. Jono Michaels, for anyone who doesn't know Jono is involved in the MJ NBA page, which does some one of the biggest NBA breakers around that's emerged during this whole period of COVID, and is huge. And Jono's just saying he'd love to jump on. I don't know if we can do it. Maybe we can flick him a link and connect him in. I don't know if it's even possible.
Well, probably not today, because obviously we're all running a little bit short. It's the middle of the day. But Jono, maybe we'll get you on. Maybe we'll get you on next week, and you guys can have a chat about this. Talk about it from a breaker's perspective. So, yeah, that'd be great, Jono. Thank you. And obviously keep up the great work that you guys are doing there at MJ's. Make sure you go and check them out.
Yeah, absolutely. Stephen Costello makes a really good point there as well, actually.
Let me get that for you. Yep, here we go.
Yeah, so obviously I think Connor just said he thought he was thinking around 400 for a Dusty. I was just telling you before, well, you were more telling me, geez, I'm going to get done here for a Dusty on this series. I'll be honest, AJ, I think your assessment and Mr. Costello's assessment, based on number and card quality and everything else, you guys could be looking at the low side value of what this thing could be worth. Because let's start stacking it up against other stuff. Showstopper, Dominance card, Green Parallel, all very valuable cards, numbered between, what are they, 60 and, all the 60s, yeah?
Yep. Well, 60 and then 40 for Showstopper.
All numbered to 60, printed on between 35 and 55 points stock from normal series of cards or Series 2 product. Bang, Mario Demetriou, that is correct, my friend, I think.
Yep.
I think it's a straight off the bat 1,500, and I think that I feel sorry for the Tigers and the Dusty collectors here. But the reality is history, and even recent history, and all the historical data is going to indicate that the demand for a card numbered only to 50 of Dustin Martin, and especially a premium high quality release, this is serious bucks here.
Yeah, that's good from you, Oren. There will be a shitload of PMs sent.
Yeah.
And I'll just state for the record too, if anyone does come across a Dusty, if you want to be immortalized here at Card Authority, you make sure you hit me up with it and we will work out a deal. Yeah, please, that's very serious. Anyone that gets Dusty, come and find me and I'll make sure you get looked after. Okay, so look, again, guys, there's going to be heaps of info about this. There's going to be heaps of chat about this over the next couple of days until the release on Tuesday. We will talk about it next week. We'll definitely do a show before release date. Just make sure you realize there's 3 release times, 2 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 9 o'clock, I believe.
Next Tuesday, right?
Next Tuesday in Melbourne time. The checklist is up at the Select website. I think we've also got it on the Card Authority. You'll also be able to find it on Good Vibes too. We'd love to hear your feedback. Obviously, post your questions. Let us know what you think, and we're certainly going to be talking about this for the next couple of weeks because clearly everyone is still hanging to talk AFL and get involved in AFL cards. So it's going to be a really interesting couple of weeks.
Yeah, and again, I actually think a really smart move by Select in terms of keeping the market going, knowing that the season, we don't know what the next season looks like, and as a result, Series 1 is potentially going to be pushed back to a later stage. With the market being as hot as it's been over the last 6 to 12 months, and we could see the signs things were really starting to cool down. We've seen a minor correction, but I think this is actually really perfectly timed as well. I think again, it can be viewed from different sides of the coin here, but I actually think it's a very smart move. It's a limited release. It fills a gap, but it's giving people something quality and something good. This isn't just the parallel Christmas set release from 2018 that is often talked about as not a good comparison you want to put up against things. So I think this is a really good move. Well done to those guys.
Yeah, and well done, Select. It's great that they're really aware of how the momentum that there is in the marketplace. We obviously feared that it might not be, or it could be a couple of things. We had pretty good mail that it was going to be something similar to this, but, well done, guys. Well done, Select. And well done for the community that clearly is getting around it. It's very exciting times.
Yeah. And it is exciting times. I can just see again from the comments the amount of new people that are even on Card Authority here that I've never seen these names before. And I think that's really indicative of just how much the hobby and the marketplace and the industry does continue to grow on a daily and a weekly basis. So NBA starting to obviously heat up again right now as well. So I think we're in actually for a huge Christmas and summer period, which it's traditionally the opposite in trading cards. Normally things slow a bit. I think we've had the slow part already and we're starting to boom right back up again now.
Yeah, just quickly, Tim Clark's posted a missed opportunity not to incorporate draft picks into this release and move the market to chase rookies. Instead, they're printing the same players. I don't know, Tim. We're not quite ready. We're not at the NBA status yet. They want to make sure that they've got a stacked product here that's going to hold its value. I think the number 35 draft pick coming in a box that you paid $150 for is probably not the right move. But, time will tell. Plus, also, this is something clearly they put together 6 months ago. So,
I think there's a lot of rumors, obviously, around already. We're only an hour and a half after announcement. There's a lot of rumors going, they've just come up with this in the last 6 weeks or something like that. And I definitely, that is not the case. This looks like this would have been planned very early in the year.
Yeah, I agree.
And a combination, like there's, obviously we've got a bit of mail about that from some pretty solid sources there, but just the player selection, I think, indicates as well that the player selection was done either before the season even commenced or very, very early in the season. No doubt about it. Yeah.
And look, thank you, everyone. I'm obviously getting a ton of messages here privately too, as you are as well.
Yeah.
We'll certainly aim to get back to all you guys. It's an exciting time. It's nice to have plenty of new cards to talk about before Christmas. But anyway, look, we'll finish it up for today. Make sure you check the Card Authority website. Also, really good vibes. We've got heaps of information on both those platforms. So make sure you check out Select. Again, we will be back before the release, but obviously, let's hope everyone gets a box or a box or two. And it's fun for everyone. And everyone find me a Dusty. All right. That's what I want. I need a Dusty. But thank you, Jenks. Thanks for making some time today. Thank you to all our viewers. We've had an immense amount of questions and interaction today. So check out the cardauthority.com.au website where you've got all our shows and all our previous podcasts. We're also now on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, all that kind of stuff. So give us a follow, give us a subscribe, get involved, and thank you.
All right, guys. See you on the next proper episode. Can't wait to talk more about this when we've got more details.